How's it going, ULM? Random Trainer here, filling in for IDaveyB for the day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. This battle I have is a 5th gen UU battle with IDaveyB. Hopefully you guys enjoy. I am using a Chansey, so sorry. So you lead off with Raikou, and I lead off with Azelf. I didn't really expect him to lead off with this thing, so right off the bat it kind of does scare me a little bit. So I'm gonna U-turn, predicting like a Thunderbolt, because, well, one of two reasons. I can't really stay in with a Raikou, and if I go into Donphan, this Thunderbolt won't affect me. But instead, he makes the safe play and goes for the Shadow Ball, and that does a little over half to my Donphan, and that sucks because that means another one will unfortunately take me out. So I'm going to predict him to go for another one or something else. So I go out into Chansey, my special wall, and he goes for Hidden Power, and I have no idea what it is. And he's going to fire off an Aura Sphere, and I take that extremely well, surprisingly, especially since it is super effective and he is Life Orb. So since I do take it so well, I'm going to be able to fire off a Wish and live another Aura Sphere and tell the tale. So now I'm going to fire off a Toxic on this thing just to wear this thing out faster, because, you know, I just like to wear things out pretty fast. So he's Toxic and he is getting Life Orb recoil, so he is kind of a bad position. I mean, his Aura Spheres aren't going to be hurting me too bad. I can just always set up a Wish to recover all the damage he's doing to me. But he decides to stay in because I guess he doesn't have anything else to deal with my Chansey. So I'm going to set up another Wish like I said I would, and just proceed to wall this thing. The Toxic's not enough to take him out, so I'm going to protect, and he's going to die to the Toxic damage. So I'm at full health, his Raikou's dead. There's nothing really much more to say about it. That's just really great for me. Sucks for him, but what you gonna do? He goes out into Honchkrow, and I know this thing's physical, so I'm gonna protect to see if he has the superpower or not. And he does, so that means I'm gonna have to get the hell out of here and go out into Milotic to take it. But instead, he doesn't go for it. Instead, he decides to just go for the safe Brave Bird, and that does a shit ton of damage to my Milotic. And that means I'm not going to be able to save Milotic for later, because by looking at the damage, I have nothing else to deal with that at all. And that does so much damage. But with the recoil and the Life Orb recoil, he is getting pretty low in health. He is under half, and I didn't even hit this thing. So I can go out and my Scarf Rotom, go for the Volt Switch, and easily take it out from that range of health, since Honchkrow doesn't really have the best special defense at all. So get that Honchkrow out of my face, and I give him Switch Initiative, but I don't really mind, because I'm going to go out into Donphan, who's getting pretty low in health, and I do want Lefty's recovery of, like, you know, because it'll be great. So he goes out into Azumarill, and I'm going to have to stay in, unfortunately, and sack my Donphan, because I have nothing else to take Ice Punches or Waterfall since Milotic's dead. So I lose Donphan, don't get at my Stealth Rocks, sucks nuts. And I go on to Rotom, and he goes out into his Nidoking, predicting me to go for another Volt Switch or Thunderbolt, and that works out great for him. And that means I'm gonna have to go out into Chansey as my special wall, because I know Nidokings are always specially offensive. And I thought he'd switch out here, so I go for a Toxic, but he doesn't. Instead, he decides to stay in and go for a Fire Blast. I'm not quite sure why. He just kept staying in and going for moves. But anyway, I set up a Wish here, and he goes on to Arcanine, and I know this thing's physical as well, so I'm probably gonna be able to take a Flare Blitz or two from this thing. If not, well, maybe just one. I go for the safe Seismic Toss because I didn't really predict him to switch out, and now I'm gonna protect here to see what he wants to do. And I see he wants to go for the Flare Blitz, and that's probably gonna hurt. But like I said, I'm almost sure I could take one, at least one. And I do take it, like at about half health, which sucks, but he does get so much Life Orb, not Life Orb, just recoil in general. So I set up a Wish, and he gets up his Morning Sun, which sucks because I didn't really expect this thing to be the Morning Glory set, but it is. So I'm gonna Seismic Toss as I get up my Wish recovery, and now I'm kind of like thinking about going for the Toxic here just to wear this thing out faster, but I don't think it'll be worth it because he's gonna get so much more recoil here, and he gets the burn on me, unfortunately, with his flare blitz. But all that recoil I'm okay with, so I set up a wish here. That way I can get up to almost full. And I protect here, of course, because I'm an annoying Chansey. And I see he wanted to go for another flare blitz, so he didn't really mind sacking his Arcanine for me to lose my Chansey. So I almost at full health. I get burn damage, but that means I'm gonna have to switch out because this Arcanine is gonna probably hit me with another move. And I go on to Rotom because I thought he'd go for the flare blitz and Rotom wouldn't really take as much damage from it, but then again Rotom wouldn't appreciate it. So instead he goes for Morning Sun, which is fantastic, and he goes out into his Azumarill as I just go for the Volt Switch. And his Azumarill isn't going to take this Volt Switch well at all, because I do unfortunately get the critical hit. It's not quite enough to take him out, but it's really unfortunate because it's still a critical hit. So now I go out into Azelf because why not? And he goes for the Aqua Jet, and I'm just going to U-turn out of here because I don't know, I just like to U-turn and kill things, you know? So Azelf's getting pretty low in health, and I'm probably going to need to use it as fodder for later. So now I go into Rotom, and he goes out into his appropriate check, his Nidoking. I'm going to go for the Overheat, but he predicts that and goes out into Arcanine again. And Arcanine kind of takes this Overheat pretty well, I mean, considering that it does resist. So I'm not really disappointed about the damage. I'm just kind of disappointed that he switched out. So I'm not going to be able to stay in. So I'm just going to go into Azelf as fodder because I don't really need it anymore. It's done its job. So I lose Azelf, fodder, whatever. He's getting pretty low in health. So now I can go out into my Hitmonlee, who's not playing any games with that normal gem boosted fake out. And the special thing about this Hitmonlee is that it has the Unburden ability. So after normal gen activates and goes away, its speed is boosted 50%, which is just fantastic. Like as you can tell here, I outspeed this Nidoking and fire off an Earthquake, not quite enough to take it out, but still, it outspeeds stuff. So it's pretty useful in UU, if I have to say so myself. I take his Earth Power for breakfast, not really. I'm able to fire off another Earthquake to take him out, and he goes on to his last Pokemon, his Umbreon, who's not going to appreciate a high jump kick, but unfortunately it'll live, but that's alright because I live his next payback, and that means I can fire off an Earthquake next turn for the win. So that's good game, IDaveyB. Really appreciate the battle, and thank you guys for tuning in today. Hopefully you guys like this, so leave a like. Be sure to check out IDaveyB. Be sure to check me out and subscribe to me, him, and ULM. That's all we could ever ask for. So, yeah guys, thanks for watching.